devices just before we begin voting on the resolutions. So now I would like to call this meeting to order. As per Article 20 of our bylaws, it is my honor to chair this meeting. At my side, we have Ms. Isabelle Cocher, COO in charge of operations, Ms. Judith Hartmann, Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Pierre Mongin, General Counsel. Now, in the first rows here, we have the members of the Board of Directors, government commissioners, main group executive managers, as well as members of the Consultative Shareholders Committee. At the first row, we also have the statutory auditors, Ernst & Young and Deloitte and Partners, Maître Eric Hélé, our officer of the court, who, among other things, will ensure that the voting process takes place smoothly. As tellers, I would call on the two shareholders who are present and accept to act as tellers, who represent either individually or as mandate holders the largest number of votes. It's Ms. Audrey Mariani, government representative, and Mr. Jérôme Deric, representing the Brussels Lambert Group. I suggest we appoint Mr. Pierre Mongin as secretary of this meeting. Now on the desk we have various documents stating that all the requisite invitations have been sent out, and all of the documents will be listed in the minutes. 19,865 shareholders, making up 1,595,588,459 shares, 1,883,706,943 votes have voted either by internet or by proxy voting. Final quorum is not yet established, but we already can say, based on the attendance sheet, provisional quorum is 1,595,588,459 shares, which is 66.57% of shares having voting rights, which is to say we do have a quorum of at least 25%. We'll reconfirm this quorum before voting on the resolutions when we announce the final quorum. Therefore, I can state that this meeting may deliberate. The agenda for this combined shareholders meeting is on the screen right now. I will not read through it at this point. We will hear detailed explanations of the resolutions, and they're also contained in the invitation to the meeting. Furthermore, in the invitation brochure this year as well, we specified the objectives of all the resolutions that are being presented for informational purposes. Furthermore, let me say that the company did not receive from shareholders any request to add an item to the agenda or any additional draft resolution to the agenda. Now, the annual general meeting is an important time for dialogue and discussions with our shareholders. So as every year, mid-March, we did a pre-shareholders meeting survey by email to hear from you, to find out what your expectations are and what you are interested in hearing about. About 800 shareholders took part in that survey, and of course we would very much like to thank them for taking part in that. Members of the Shareholders Consultative Committee, Advisory Committee at the second row here also helped prepare this shareholders meeting. They worked on the substance and the format, and I would like to thank all of them and greet them. We put together a presentation with Isabelle and the team members, which includes all the contributions I've mentioned. After our presentations, we will have discussion with you, and you'll be able to ask any questions you might have before we begin voting on the resolutions. We have a rapport of trust that we've established between the company and its shareholders. We have a real relationship with our customers, shareholders, employees, as well as suppliers. Thanks to our history, thanks to the fact that we very much wanted to develop a loyal shareholder base. The increased dividend that your meeting approved in 2014 is a reflection of our commitment to this. In this digital era, we've also developed several specific tools. For instance, we have a Facebook page and a mobile app to help foster interaction with the largest number of shareholders possible. We would like our shareholders to feel a real closeness to this company. We organized consultations with you in 2015 as a run-up to COP21, and also in our integrated report really go to show that we want to have a close relationship with you. This AGM is important for many reasons. In compliance with the desire expressed by the Board of Directors meeting 24 February 2016, and if you confirm this choice, Isabelle Cocher will become the Chief Executive Officer of the group after this meeting. This is a major stage in the life of our group. She will be the only woman chief executive of a CAC 40 company. She's already had all the necessary job experience. She was headquarter executive manager, chief executive of Lyonnaise des Eaux with 10,000 employees, chief financial officer, CFO. She's also been chief of operations, COO, which means second ranking in the group, a chief operating officer, having authority over all operating activities of the group. She has shown in every single one of those jobs that she has all the necessary qualities and the experience so that henceforth she can take charge of this group. 4 years ago, the Board of Directors decided the new chief executive of the group would be appointed at the 2016 AGM. That's today, that's this year, that's today. Later, I proposed to the Board of Directors to think about identifying the successor 2 years ahead of time, using just exactly the right process, and that was carried out unanimously. The Compensation and Appointments Committee of the Board of Directors, as well as the consultant, all said Isabelle Cocher was at the very top of the list of 8 candidates. Isabelle became Chief Operating Officer in 2014, and together we revamped the organization. Most of this was carried out by Isabelle. It's about internal organizations, appointing 360 people, managers for each of the business units. There are 24 business units. Stepping up strategic transformation that was proposed to the Board of Directors, which approved that transformation. She put together a roadmap, an action plan for the next 3 years. And together with our employee representatives, we've put together the necessary agreements to support and accompany this major change that's underway. This evening, Isabelle Cocher alone is taking charge of the group's operations. She's becoming the group's boss, and I have every trust in her. The Board of Directors also decided to separate the function of Chief Executive Officer from a Chairman of the Board, and resolutions on this will be put up for your vote, and Jean-Louis Beffa will come back to this point later.